My mother says when you're gonna live your life right, and girls just wanna have fun. Oh.
Hey guys, so I'm gonna end my series of restarting Buck because I think he's fairly comfortable with me in the saddle, finally. There is a little blooper at the end of this episode to watch. He still has his little baby Bucky moments from time to time, especially when I ask a little more leg aid. But anyway, I'm going to start hopefully a weekly series. It's going to be at least a few times a month. I'm going to try to do a exercise of the week. This week's exercise is called the windmill. So what I've done is I've set up a square of poles in the center, and then off each side of the square is 4 trot poles, and they're just set at regular trot lengths. If you wanted to make this exercise a little more difficult, you could raise the poles, or you could lengthen the poles to extend the trot, or shorten the poles to collect the trot. Little Bucky here is just a 4-year-old who barely understands rhythm at all, so I'm using this exercise to help teach him rhythm. He's not very good at maintaining a nice steady trot through turns, so that's why I'm incorporating these standards I've set up. You don't have to include this in your exercise. I'm just trying to get him to turn around objects and maintain his speed and not slow down and get choppy. As you can tell, for the most part, his trot is pretty choppy and looks like a giraffe. So here I'm trying to ask him to lower his head and bring his hind end up under him and reach through into his front footsteps. And to do that, I've got my legs further back underneath my hips, asking him to move forward. And then I have my elbows down at my sides and my hands kind of down low, making kind of like a chute for my hips to move through and push him through the movement. And as you can see, he's starting to come rounder and actually picking his feet up over the poles, as opposed to the beginning of this video, he was fairly flat and barely picking his feet up at all. So that's the good thing about this exercise with the Buck, is I've just created a great big figure 8 with this windmill. So I'm asking him to maintain a nice forward trot. This is not very forward, but we're getting there. And I want the impulsion that he has going over the poles to carry through on the flats through the turns. So he's starting to figure it out. He's not the straightest through the poles, which I'm not really too concerned about that. That will come with time. I'm more concerned about him going forward and keeping his impulsion. And this final step through the poles, he's finally really starting to pick up his feet. It's hard to tell. Sorry, I had the camera in the shadows and we were in the really bright sunlight, which made for a really bad contrast. I swear I'll get better at this filming thing, but in the meantime, enjoy this blooper.
They really want